let's just start with this absolute, like, embarrassing. You can tell sometimes, like, when people on networks think that, on cable networks, think that they're either, like, in danger of being fired, or their contract is coming up and they're not sure what's going to happen, or they realize, like, I'm not going any further on this. Because they start to, like, really put some effort into their online show, and make it even more online-y. I think that's what's going on with Will Cain. He's been doing this lately, like, and I think there's a real sense of, like, he's gone as far as he's going to go. He's only on the Fox and Friends weekend. He's not going to go any further. Maybe the contract's coming up. I mean, I've been there, folks. And that's what I really get a sense. Like, this is embarrassing. Every time I think Will Cain is on there, it always feels embarrassing because it's sort of like...
Well, that's the thing is, like, he's got to say something really, like, racist to get attention from an audience, right? Like, he's too bland.
Yeah, he's too bland.
And he lost the, like, overgrown frat boy sweepstakes to Jesse Waters, who took Tucker Carlson's 8 o'clock
and I think,
hour.
like, Cain couldn't do that. I mean, I used to know him at CNN, and he was just, like, a normal guy.
Yeah, Waters is an actual bad person.
Yes.
Oh, right. So that's why he won.
So
he won the competition.
He's interviewing Patrick Bet-David to get Patrick Bet-David's political analysis.
Oh, good.
And here is...
Are you ready to be infotained?
Oh, you're about to get so infotained.
Infocained.
So Will Cain asks him, like, who do you think, like, is going to be, you know, after Donald Trump, like, who's like presidential material? And it's literally like, if People Magazine didn't realize that it was People Magazine and it responded to you. Like, here is Patrick Bet-David.
You know, I want to be like Mike. Kobe, I want to be like Mike. All these guys want to be like Mike. There's only been one person in the history of America that has reached the milestone of being a trifecta. Let me unpack this for you, what a trifecta is. Where you make it in business and you become a billionaire, check. Where you make it in media and you run a TV show or something that's popular, that you're up there as a #1 spot for 5, 10, 15
Pause
years.
it for 1 second. I just want to be clear. Donald Trump did not run The Apprentice.
No.
Donald Trump was an actor on The Apprentice.
He showed up for makeup.
He didn't run the show.
Also, the trifecta thing, he just made that up on the spot, right? What is he talking about? The trifecta?
Well, Trump did 3 things that are the most important thing that I can think of.
Get a giant loan from your dad and inherit his real estate company.
That's the father. Next is the son. Which one's the Holy Spirit?
Be on television and become president. So that's the formula for everything now. Go ahead.
That you're up there as a #1 spot for 5, 10, 15 years. Hey, you got The Apprentice, 15 years running, dominating the marketplace. Arnold tried to do it, miserably failed. Check, those are 2 things. And then you make it in business, you make it in media, then you mean to tell me you go become a president? That's what you do? Yes. No one's ever done that in the history of America, period. He is one of one. Love him, hate him, he's one of one. Now, your question of what happens after him, there's a lot of dynamics to it, right? It's not just a one-dimensional question you're asking.
Interesting.
Let's kind of process that together. If you look at the marketplace today, Mark Cuban just sold the Dallas Mavericks to the Miriam Adelson, I believe, the widow of Sheldon Adelson, and she just bought him out. And, you know, they're $30 billion net worth type of a family.
We should also say Miriam Adelson also just bought Donald Trump, and in exchange for here's a ton of cash, and will you support annexation of the West Bank? She's the one who basically made her money contingent upon moving the embassy to Jerusalem and getting out of the Iranian nuke deal. I would imagine other things that we are not aware of, but this is well reported recently. But go ahead.
She just bought him out, and, you know, they're $30 billion net worth type of a family, a lot of wealth there in that family. And at the same time, she gave $100 million right after the conviction that she's committed to giving to the Trump campaign. That's some stuff that's circulating to the point where Adam Silver had to come in. You follow sports closely, and Adam Silver had to say, hey, we don't necessarily know if you can be the governor representing the Mavs. We think it needs to be your nephew or somebody else, your son. They chose somebody else because of how much aggressive she is of Trump support. And in the NBA, the BLM type of a market, and Mark Cuban being somebody that was total the face of DEI while he's running the whitest team in the NBA, according to Guardian, for the first 19 years of his ownership, 75% of his team was always white.
What's he talking about? So he's criticizing Mark Cuban here? Because you know who Mark Cuban is employed by? I don't know if he knows this. Miriam Adelson. Because she is now the majority owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban may have some stake in it, but he's also, the manager of basketball operations or something like that? They actually have a connection there, but anyway.
To say he's so DEI because the Mavs were white, that's a bit of a reductive statement. The Mavs recruited heavily in Europe, which was a competitive advantage because a lot of teams didn't have scouts over there, so they drafted a bunch of European players. So if you call white people just like white Americans and white Europeans, maybe, but you could actually look at that as it actually is diversity because we're scouting worldwide. We're globalized.
I don't know what Patrick Bet-David's even remotely talking about.
They're mad Mark Cuban said something on behalf of DEI.
Oh, right. So he's super DEI. Okay. Yeah.
In the NBA, according to Guardian, for the first 19 years of his ownership, 75% of his team was always white. The whitest team in the NBA. He leaves the team, and now he's sold the company, sitting on a lot of cash. Is Mark Cuban thinking about being a trifecta because Trump's his inspiration? Because he's made it in media. Shark Tank is a phenomenal show. He's made it in sports. He's famous. He's been a billionaire. He's had nice exits. The only thing missing from from Cuban's resume is what? Being a president. Who else is on that list? This guy's not a trifecta, but he's a beast of a guy, Jamie Dimon. Why is Jamie Dimon talking about he's stepping away from the game? What's he doing? Where's he going to go? Go to another guy, Dwayne Johnson.
Hold on, pause it for 1 second. I just want to say, the idea that Patrick Bet-David has is that Jamie Dimon could be president because A, he seems to be going into some type of retirement or he's leaving his job. So why wouldn't he run for president? One of the reasons why he wouldn't run for president is that people, and apparently Patrick Bet-David is not one of them, have a memory of history that goes further than 16 months ago on, who topped the YouTube charts. And Jamie Dimon, as one of the bankers overseeing the financial crisis, or being a part of the financial crisis, being looped in with that, there is a tremendous amount of resentment for bankers that exists out there in this country, well-deserved. So I think even though that Jamie Dimon lacks the TV show element, and he's it's just such a dumb thing to say.
Patrick Bet-David, it's not a politics show. It's a simping rich guys show.
And but who else might be able to run for presidency? Well, I'm trying to think of who else needs this who's got the trifecta, as he says. Go ahead.
Guy, Jamie Dimon. Why is Jamie Dimon talking about he's stepping away from the game?
Wow.
What's he doing? Where's he going to go?
What is he doing?
Go to another guy, Dwayne Johnson. It's 2 out of 3. He's made it in media higher than any of these guys. He's got 600 million total followers, shy of 1 billion followers on social media. He's the highest paid actor in the world. Last 4 out of the 8 years, he was the #1 highest paid actor worldwide. In 2021, he made $270 million as an actor. Zoa Energy, give or take, $1 billion valuation. Terramana, if we use the same calculation
I want you to
Clooney's.
just go back a little bit as Patrick Bet-David is promoting The Rock as our next president because he has almost 1 billion followers on social media. And if you want to do something that just sort of if you feel what am I doing with my life, or have I made the right choices, or anything like that, and you want to just sort of get a sense of what someone looks like when they're questioning those choices, as Patrick Bet-David is answering this question, just watch Will Cain sort of nod along.
He's been so bored the entire time.
Well, it's just also just make it sound like it sounds good. Oh God, what did I do? Where did I go wrong? There we go.
He made $270 million as an actor. Zoa Energy, give or take, $1 billion valuation. Terramana, if we use the same calculation as George Clooney's, tequila drink is worth $3.5 billion. World Wrestling Federation,
He's
all
not
this
listening
stuff
to
that
a
he's
word of
done,
this.
movies. He may want to run for office. He's about to be a billionaire. He's at $800 million net worth, give or take. So I think the 2028 field is going to be a star-studded field. It's going to change. It's not going to be who knows the most about
Bill Gates
policies.
been hypnotized.
It's going to be who's the most famous, that's recognizable face, likable, that people have the last thing to check off their resume. Even, some of them may be discouraged to do because they saw how the media destroyed Trump's personal life, where he's not invited to the parties anymore. So that may scare the crap out of some of these guys. Do I run as a Republican? Do I run as a Democrat? Do I run as an independent? So that part's going to change. Now, the real question becomes...
Okay, I can't.
There's no real question. There's no real question to come out of that.
Will just letting PBD do his show.
Right, exactly.
Do you think he's trying to set himself up to be one of the people who is able to complete the trifecta? I mean, look, he got really rich off his MLM thing, and then he has his own media.
Valuetainment.
Valuetainment.
The original trifecta in George Washington's time was plantation owner, war hero, and president. And I think now it's TV guy, sports guy, and politics guy.
The people that watch PBD and really get into the simping for all the rich guys that he presents.
Elon.
What is wrong with? You'll never be on that level. Maybe you'll get lucky, but for the most part, it's just this very weird capitalist worship that I just don't even know who it's for.
Does anybody know how wealthy Jeff Probst is? Because if he's getting up into the 100 millions, then maybe
Jeff Probst?
He's the host of Survivor.
So he's
Wait, he's so are you kidding?
Is that who you want to cover every day? Is this what Jeff Probst is?
That'd be my guess.
He might run for president.
He might run for president.
He's got a lot of experience.
Think about it. He's had to sit in front of
a lot of tribunals.
in sort of a tribunal, a parliamentary procedure.
Oh yeah.
So you go first. He's had to deal with polarization.
Diplomacy, you could say, between competitors.
Now the 5-hour work week guy might get in there.
Tim Ferriss is also he's also good. It's just unbelievable.
They're so cynical about what it means to actually be in politics, which should be about what you represent and the people that represent you. Not to be corny, and I'm sorry if I didn't complete the trifecta in my analysis there.
Yeah, it's also amazing to think about, and it's a little bit, it can get, I don't want to say it's upsetting, but it is sort of it is in an alternate universe where if we had one 32nd, one 64th, one 128th of the capital that that David has poured into his operation, so that he is gets the hits that he gets. It would be fascinating to see. It just goes to show you that there is a number. If you want to be a YouTube star, there is a number that you can spend and become that.
Yeah. And PBD, buddy, all those nearly 1 billion followers The Rock has, I would guess a majority of them are not Americans. So I kind of think that cuts into your thesis a little bit.
You don't think there's 1 billion people in America? I think so. Don't count America.
I haven't
let those people vote too.
Crunch the numbers yet.
Don't count America short. That's all I'm saying. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.